on Sports Radio, The Fan, 107.9 FM, 1560 AM, and anywhere you listen online and podcast. You can be a part of the conversation at 321-984-1234. Now, here's your host, Mark Moses.
Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome indeed, yes, to a Tuesday edition of the Mark Moses Show, only right here on Sports Radio 107.9 FM, 1560 AM, and anywhere you listen online and podcast. Let's get right into it. We have now completed the first year of the 12-team college football playoff. Our champion is the Ohio State Buckeyes, a team with 2 losses and a team that did not win their conference championship. They were a wild card, if you want to put it that way. They were the 5th seed overall, and they went crazy in the playoff. They did. All right, if you do this off the top of your head, who did they beat? All right, Tennessee at home. Then they destroyed Oregon at the Rose Bowl. Then they won that close game against Texas. And then last night they handled business against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Championship. And I think the stat I saw this morning was since the AP championship, when that started, what was like around the 1930s or something like that, they've now surpassed Notre Dame with 9 championships overall. Notre Dame still is at 8. Bama's still at number 1. Ohio State's 9. And it's funny where they won the first one when we expanded to an actual playoff in 2014. The Cardell Jones-led team. Remember that? Where they beat Oregon in the title game? Yes. Urban Meyer, that team. They won it then, and then we expanded to 12. Ohio State won again. Let's just state the obvious, and it's something we've been saying this whole playoff. Losing to Michigan was great for the Buckeyes. It kicked them in the head, it woke them up, and it got them angry. And they won the championship last night. They never looked back. And honestly, of all these games, maybe you can make a case Texas was the best team to go against them. Put up a fight for 4 quarters. And it's funny, if they beat Michigan, then they'd be in one of those 2 spots. They would have gone to Indianapolis, and they would have played Oregon for the Big Ten title instead of Penn State. It would have been a different path for them. Maybe it's a different outcome, but this outcome is legit. And after that loss, Thanksgiving weekend to Michigan, where all the Buckeye fans were pretty much in unison saying, let's fire Ryan Day, ... unless he wins the national title. Well, Ryan Day won the national title. Ohio State's the champion. And now it's 2 years in a row for the Big Ten as the champion. No SEC team either, 2 years in a row as well. They got it done. So congratulations to the Ohio State Buckeyes, who, yes, spent $20 million in NIL money to get it done. And it goes to a bigger picture going into the offseason. And I really believe this, and we can debate this, and this is going to be a discussion for the next 9 months or so till we get to the new season of college football. The thing of, do you need to spend that much money? If you are a mega power, do you need to do that moving forward? If you're Bama, you're Florida State, you're Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, USC, Texas A&M. You're one of these mega teams. Or Notre Dame as well. Put them in there. Just played in the title game. Do you need to spend money like this is Major League Baseball? Because remember, there's no salary cap when it comes to the NIL. Is this going to be like Major League Baseball? It's like the Dodgers and the Yankees. You need to keep spending. Ohio State spent $20 million in NIL. Do they need to spend $25, $30 million next year? Is that money going to keep going up? Are you going to have to spend that much? I say yes. I say you're going to have to keep spending. That's why I heard Nick Saban the other day say maybe we need some type of salary cap with this. He's not wrong. Because if you are a mid-level team, let's say you're a UCF right here in your backyard, you can't win the national title. No way. You can't compete with these other schools. All right, there's money there at UCF, but you don't have $20 million to spend on NIL. Ohio State does. And, in the olden times, like a decade ago, they said it's an arms race. And they meant facilities. Facilities was the big word. Do you have the top of the food chain type facilities? Stadium? Do you have the best of the best? Can you get me the NFL? Now, whatever. Now, can you pay me? Because the best players want to get paid in college football because it's a professional sport now. Can you pay? Some of these smaller schools are not going to be able to pay. They're not. They're not going to compete. And the other thing we learned from this playoff is, can you build a roster that could go through the gauntlet of this playoff? Can your team win 3 or 4 games? Ohio State can. They proved it. They have a big-time, pretty much NFL roster that could go on a run. We see this in college basketball, where everyone gets to go to the tournament. There's 68 teams. You got every chance to try to go to the tournament, even if you're one of the small schools in the country, or let's say you're a Kentucky Duke blue blood. Everyone gets a chance to go to the dance. They do. But we have not seen a team win 6 games in a row from a smaller school. They've gone to the title game. They've gone to the Final Four. You've seen this. VCU, Butler. You can go on and on. All these smaller schools, they've made runs. They have. Sweet 16, Final Four, title game. They've made that run. But once they get to the title game, a mega power squashes them. Happens every single time. And there's a part of me where it looks like the 12-team playoff is like March Madness now. Oh, you get to go, Boise State, Indiana, and we'll see more teams moving forward that are kind of a Cinderella run. Oh, yeah, you can make the tournament, but you're not going to be built to win 4 games or 3 games. Oh, no. Maybe you can win 1 or 2. You're not going to win 4. No, you got to be a Georgia, Ohio State, Bama, Michigan, Florida State. You got to be at that level to get it done. You have to. Texas A&M. You can make the dance. We'll give you that illusion, but you're not going to win the title. No, you won't have the horses to get it done. You won't. I was talking to my good friend John Frary. He's going to join us today at 4 o'clock. And we were talking about this off air. And John made a great point, and he'll make it on the air. I know. I like John. I back him up. He's a good dude. And he said the difference is in college basketball, you only need 1 or 2 guys to get hot. Basketball's 5-on-5. 1 or 2 guys can get hot. You can make a run in the tournament. College football, it's 11-on-11. You need 22 starters. Then you need depth on the bench. You special teams, all that stuff. You need more than 2 or 3 guys to get hot. You need a whole team to get hot. That's what I've noticed with this. The other part of it is, if you really think about it, I love the NFL. It's my favorite sport. I grew up going to NFL games. That's my passion. That's my baby. I love these other sports, though. Love baseball. I love hockey. I love college football. I like all these different sports. I love them. NFL is king. And there's this weird thing, and I know this is the first year. So we had semifinal games on a Thursday, Friday. Then we went a Saturday, Sunday, Monday with NFL wildcard weekend. Then we took a couple days off. Then we had very big-time emotional divisional games Saturday and Sunday. Then we played the title game last night. It's too late. I get it. Every college football fan said, like, what are you talking about, Mark? I love it. It's great. More football, great. But I feel like that title game last night should have been played last week, like last Monday night. It's too much. We started the playoff December, was it like 14th or 15th? And then we went to January 20th. Over a month for this playoff. Remember, the NFL ends regular season, next weekend's wild card, then the next weekend is divisional round. Then we go Championship Sunday, Pro Bowl, then we go Super Bowl. Non-stop. And it feels like with college football, it's like they took so much time off that I kind of start forgetting about it. Then it came back. By last night, it was one of these feelings like, I'm kind of over the season. Like, just crown Ohio State the champion, let's move on. Heck, on last Friday, I got an email from the University of Florida saying, hey, our spring game's coming up. They're already moving on to the spring game, and we still haven't crowned a champion yet. That's why, look, that game last night, when we got to, what was it, 14-7, and then right before half, Ohio State scored. It was 21-7 going to half. I said, this game's over. It's over. Ohio State was toying with Notre Dame. And I know Notre Dame kind of made it a game late. No. Ohio State was winning that game. There's no way Notre Dame was going to come back. They had a little hope. No, they didn't. And that's the joke of, they started that game on an 18-play drive and scored a touchdown, Notre Dame, to go up 7-0. And they were exhausted after that drive. And their quarterback was puking on the sidelines from going on that drive. And my joke is maybe Notre Dame should have gone on a 47-play drive and kept Ohio State's offense off the field. Because once Ohio State, when they finally got their first possession, you're like, oh, this isn't going to be good. They were bigger, stronger, faster, and they went right down the field. They were toying with Notre Dame. It was over. It was over. It was over at 14-7, 21-7. They just kept going. It's over. Notre Dame is good. And look, they made the title game. Give them all the credit in the world. But Ohio State was the best team, and they showed it last night. They did. So going to the offseason, if you're Notre Dame, are you going to go to your national fan base and go, we need more money for NIL? That's going to be fascinating to see. Can we spend more money? And if I'm like, it's like Trump yesterday with the executive orders. He had his guy there. All right, what's this? We're going to undo this. Great. He just signed it. Anything thrown in front of him, he started signing. He did 2 different events where he did that. 2. Just start signing everything. If I'm the sports commissioner of this universe, I think there's a couple things I would sign. I think what I would do is, I think what should happen is, I think this needs to be the 12-team playoff. There shouldn't be so many days off. And I feel like the championship game should still be maybe the Monday after Wild Card weekend. Maybe that with the NFL. Don't go this deep into January. There's too much fatigue after a while. Just invite my viewpoint. You might disagree with me. You might love last night, especially if you're a Buckeyes fan. I think I'd sign that executive order. No. And look, if you have to push the college football season to that week 0, where it's like, August 24th, that weekend, fine. Who would be against that? I think it's too long after a while. And after Wild Card weekend and divisional round weekend, I'm kind of over it after a while. I'm thinking, who's going to get to the Super Bowl? I'm not thinking, I hope who's going to win the college football playoff. Now, look, if it was the Gators in the title game, this show would be completely different today. But that's just how it felt last night. All right, so that's college football. All right. And I know the Gators did pick up a backup quarterback. We'll break that down at 4 o'clock today. All right, NFL. Here are my thoughts. I watched all those games this weekend. Detroit and Baltimore, and I know some of my guests moving forward this week might disagree with me on this. Probably will. Baltimore and Detroit's chances to win a championship was last season. That was it. They were both in championship Sunday. Remember, Detroit was at San Francisco. They botched it late. And Baltimore was home against a kind of wounded Kansas City team. And they blew it. That's your chance. That's why in sports, especially professional sports, you can't be like, we'll be back next year. We'll get another chance. We'll be this close. It'll keep going. No. Windows open and windows close. They do. Tom Brady said that on the broadcast, where at the end of the year, you start all over. And then a new window opens up the next year. Maybe for you, Tom Brady, where you kept going to Super Bowls. Maybe in your universe, that's what happens. But if you're like a Detroit Lions, no. You lost your offensive coordinator, whiz kid, to the Bears, Ben Johnson. Your defense coordinator, and Glenn's probably going to go to the Jets or the Saints. Their chance was last year. Then they come back, they get the number 1 seed, they're at home, and they forgot to play football. They forgot, and give all the credit to Washington. And you can't, I know, it's so cliche, it's a broken record. You can't turn the ball over. You can't. I don't care if you have the number 1 offense in the league. You can't turn the ball over. 5 turnovers. Washington didn't punt, didn't turn the ball over. They're moving on. And I think Washington can beat Philadelphia. Heck, right now, I think Washington can win the Super Bowl. They're 2 games away. Literally, they have been fantastic. You can make a case they've been the best team in the playoffs so far. Detroit had their chance. They're done. They have all those weapons coming back. The last 2 years was their best chance, and really their best chance was 2 years ago. I'm sorry. And I was talking to my buddy Jason on the phone yesterday. You know, we both root for the same team. We're from the same city. And he's like, I kind of feel bad for the Lions. And I go, I don't feel sorry for them. I don't root for them. They're a division rival. They had their chance, and they screwed it up. I feel bad for those fans because I've been there. I understand the pain, but they lost. You had your chance. You shot yourself in the foot 5 times, and they lost the game. Boo-hoo. Can my team be good? And you look at Baltimore. I'm sorry. They could be the greatest regular season team of all time. They can't get it done in the playoffs. They can't get over the hump. And everyone's like, oh, Mark Andrews dropped the ball and he fumbled. The whole team was terrible. They were just messing around, and that's my PG version of what I really want to say. You had every opportunity. You were favored in that game, and you just played like a bunch of idiots out there. 3 turnovers. Again, turnovers kill you. That was the difference. Can't get it done. And I wasn't impressed with Buffalo either. I really wasn't. But give credit to Buffalo. They're at home. They're in the elements. And they made fewer mistakes. They only scored 6 points in the second half. It wasn't the greatest game, but they won the game. They did. And what I talked about last week was this. This is going to be a big emotional game, and it was. And it was 4 quarters and went down to the wire. Buffalo survived. They're celebrating. We're great. Everyone's giving them praise, throwing them roses. They haven't won anything yet. They haven't, because they got to go back to Arrowhead again. And they got to take on Patrick Mahomes, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, the NFL refs, all of that. Buffalo is riding high right now, but they could go to Arrowhead and they could lose this game. And I feel that after what I saw in that Baltimore-Buffalo game. If the Bills came out, if they would have won by double digits and they would have won convincingly, I'd be like, okay, they got momentum, they got swagger. No. I think Kansas City can win. I really do. I think Kansas City can win this game. They're on their turf. They know how to win. They have the best player in football. It appears they have the refs giving them every call. Again, they're at home. They have Taylor Swift. Now they have the mojo of Caitlin Clark also. I think they could beat Buffalo. And I think Kansas City has a legit chance of winning this game and then winning the Super Bowl to win 3 in a row. And if you're Houston, okay, you can complain about the refs all you want. How about you put someone on Travis Kelce? How about you do that? He's wide open. Who's that guy? Oh, you mean the guy who's in every commercial with his brother and then on the podcast, and he's dating the most, popular female pop star of all time? Oh, you mean that guy? Put 3 people on him. Oh, man. He destroyed the Texans in that game. Give him all the credit. Am I sick of the Kelce brothers being shoved down my throat? Yes, I am. But do I have to give praise to Travis Kelce? Yes. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He killed the Texans in that game. He's wide open. If I ran those routes, I probably could have scored as well. Probably not, but, maybe if I was 20 and, 100 pounds of muscle on me, maybe I could. So it's going to be fun on Sunday. I can't wait. I cannot wait. And if you are Philadelphia, you did win 2 playoff games. You did. You beat Green Bay, then you beat the Rams. I think if you are Philadelphia, we're going to preview this all week long. I think I think you're going to need those elements. I think you're going to have it snow again, and then you're going to have to run the football with Saquon Barkley. I think you're going to need a couple turnovers, and you're going to need that snow. Snow, baby, snow. That's what you're going to need, because this is going to be a dogfight, and it's an NFC East showdown. It is. And you never want to take on a team 3 times in a row. It's going to be fascinating. I can't wait for Sunday. Championship Sunday is awesome. I've had the privilege. I feel very fortunate to say this, even though it was a long time ago now. I went to a championship Sunday. It is the top of the top. Or as Macho Man would say, the cream of the crop. No, what is it? See, now I'm going to get flack for this. What is it? The cream always rises to the top? All right, there. Now I got it right. I'm sorry. There's too many ideas going on in my head. Championship Sunday in the NFL is number one for me. It is the best. The best. And I've been to a lot of cool sporting events, but the idea, your favorite team that you root for, you have this chance, 60 minutes, someone's in your way, you have a chance to win, you have a chance to go to the Super Bowl, is the best of the best. And I will not miss Championship Sunday. I will not. Love it. And this past weekend, I'll end with this. I'm watching these games, and I'm just thinking the whole time, like, can my team be here? Can we do that? Yeah, I'm sick of being on the sideline. I want my team to play in the playoffs and make a deep playoff run. I do. I'm like I'm happy for my friend, John Torres. He'll come on tomorrow. Florida Today newspaper, loves the Washington Commanders. That's his team. He's been there since day one when they were the Redskins. And I'm so happy for him, but I'm also jealous because I secretly wish it was my team instead. And I hope you feel the same way, right? And I have another buddy, Jonathan, who also roots for the Commanders. And he loves making fun of him and his wife. They love making fun of the Cowboys. It makes him so happy. And I wrote a text to him and my other buddy, Kerry, who loves the Cowboys. And I put this in a group text. I said, look, I can't stress this enough. Don't make fun of any other teams this whole week. It's the first time in about 30 years you've been in this situation. Heck, it's even longer. It might be 33 years, how longer it's been for a Washington fan. I said, look, don't make fun of any other teams. It should be all positive talk. This is it. And if you have any other plans, cancel them. This is a chance at the Super Bowl. Let's bleepin' go. Can't wait. And yes, if you don't know, I did announce that I've been working on it behind the scenes. We will be doing the Mark Moses Show from Radio Row in New Orleans the week of the Super Bowl. I'm going to be there Tuesday through Thursday. And yes, it's sponsored locally by Fish Lips Waterfront Bar and Grill. And then that Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, we'll be at Fish Lips for our big watch party. And yeah, you'll have chances to win great prizes, including, I got it signed, yes, big game coins from the Highland Mint. That's right. Who's going to be on the coin? We will find out Sunday night. I'm kind of hoping to make it fun. Maybe a Washington-Buffalo Super Bowl. I think that'd be probably the most fun. My coworker Rachel will kill me for saying that because she loves the Eagles. Right. And if the Chiefs lose, not that I'm petty, if the Chiefs lose, I'm going to take out a big bottle of champagne, pop the cork, chug it, and then start blasting some Taylor Swift. That's what I think we should do. And I think the whole country is going to be doing that. Let's go to break. We'll come back. Let's break down what happened to his Baltimore Ravens. Yes, Alan Slaughter-Zinski, Brevard Sports Network. He'll join us next. What happened? We'll do it next here on the show.
This is Sports Radio The Fan, 107.